1990 pre-hospital services in Sri Lanka as well. Dr. Asankar, it's up to you. You can go ahead. So today is going to talk about prevention and briefing, augmenting the Sri Lankan pre-hospital system.
Good evening. Thanks for the kind introduction, Governor, and thanks to the organizing committee inviting me to discuss about the pre-hospital setup in Sri Lanka. So, as Varuna mentioned, so I have experience in both pre-hospital setup in Sri Lanka and also retrieval medicine in the developed countries. So I work and trained in Australia. So I work in ACT, little bit down where the place Kumar has been working. So today my topic to see the things we would compare and things we would get from developed setup, retrieval system, and how should we move forward in Sri Lanka pre-hospital system. So this would be my outline. So I'll be basically touching upon the concept of EMS and what's the difference between the EMS and the retrieval medicine. And we'll talk about the 1990, the pre-hospital setup in Sri Lanka, so what happened in the past, what's the current status, and what would be the way forward in the future. So I'll start with this picture. So anyone knows about this person? Who's an anesthetist? So this is Dr. John Hines. He used to be called as a flying doctor. This is one of the high end of the retrieval system. So he used to ride as a medical assistant in high-speed motorbike ground free races. So he would be riding with the same, the contestant with the same speed, and then provide medical assistance with high velocity crash injuries. So what is the need of this? Because even seconds of delay of these injuries, the time critical intervention would kill a person. So in trauma, getting the correct intervention as soon as possible is really important. So he used to ride with the other participants, so he would not even delay seconds. Unfortunately, he died while providing medical assistance in 2018. Again, basically crashed onto a wall and he died. So I think Kumar touched upon this. So there are two concepts in emergency medical services. So you have the Anglo-American system where you get a scoop and run. So you take the patient and you get the patient immediately to a place where you can get the correct treatment, medical treatment. And then you have the Franco-German system where you stay and play. So where you go to the patient, you are basically resuscitate and you provide the most of the needy intervention before you move. But the current context, most of the countries would have adopted kind of a hybrid system. So, in broadly, the emergency medical service means could be very simple where you go to the patient or the site and get the patient without doing anything. But if you take the retrieval system, so retrieval medicine means basically providing specialist and appropriate specialist care by appropriately trained professional. So it will be very costly, as Kumar mentioned, even for one mission. But again, why this is needed? It would definitely reduce morbidity and mortality, especially in trauma. That's been proven again and again in the literature. So this is the rule of right. So picking the right patient, right time, and done by the right people, and then get the patient to the right place by right transport medium. Right, so that's basically the bit of the basis of the emergency medical service and retrieval. Now, looking back upon the Sri Lankan system, so early days, so we haven't had any pre-hospital setup. So we had the inter-hospital transfer where the ambulance would provide transfer, and sometimes when the patient is critically, the medical team would assist. However, again, the medical team would be your intern doctor. So again, it basically sometimes make no sense because you are sending most critically ill patient with the most junior doctor to a different hospital to get upgraded medical care. And then, after identification of the need of the pre-hospital staff, fortunately, we had the pre-hospital service established as 1990 Susan here. So, the past. So, as many of a new novel specialty development, it's not easy, so it will be very difficult. So, there are so many difficulties faced at the beginning. So I think it would be same for any specialty, not for pre-hospital, even any medical specialty, this would be the same. So it was not an easy line, but however, it happened. Now we are at this stage. So the pre-hospital service being recognized by the people, by the medical professional, us, by the government. So it's been gone to a level, yes, this is needed. I mean, we all need to accept, yes, pre-hospital service would make significant difference to patient care, because it's a chain of survival for the time critical medical pathology, especially in trauma. So if you break the chain at the beginning, you would not win. So we need the chain to be sustained from the beginning to the end. So it's not only about ICU, it starts from your home or the sea. So what I can say with my experience, now what I see 1990, so we have very effective administrative body and control center. So the communication, how do we communicate the patient, how the patient would contact the 190, and how they would dispatch and how would they respond to a call, and how the 190 would inform to the receiving end. So the training has been uplifted. So it was initially started as an emergency medical training. Started in India, and then it's happened in Sri Lanka with the contribution of various professional colleges. So College of Emergency Medicine, College of Surgeons, College of Anesthesia, contribution of all and many other colleges. The training has been uplifted, and I'm proud to say now it's gone to a level. The emergency medical training would go into a diploma. So the current current development, you have a diploma for the emergency medical technicians. As I mentioned, the suicide rate being collaborated with various professional bodies and other advisory bodies, government. So what I can see and what we all can see, it's been like this. So the foundation being laid, and what we need to think, how we should move forward. I think we all do, and I would like to request again, pre-hospital services definitely would make a significant change in the patient mortality and morbidity. So we need to respect and we need to recognize them as part of our team members if we want to win, especially with the trauma. So these are the basic fundamentals in emergency medical services. So it's very simple. So what happens? So someone recognize something not wrong, general public. So you call, you notify the call center. Once you get the call center notification, there will be a few things happening, and then they will dispatch. I think it's about 2 minutes in our pre-hospital service. So once they get a call and once they decide about the dispatch, they need to leave the place within 2 minutes. So that is almost very similar to the kind of a developed country retrieval system. So you go, and then you go and you do things in the scene, and then you transport to hospital. So this is the basic fundamentals in emergency medicine service. So what I'm going to talk now, taking these fundamentals, so what are things we would think to improve the pre-hospital service in the future? So this is something, I believe something needs to happen, but again there will be some difficulties and dilemma and pros and cons. Right? So we know we have a triage system in the hospital. Yeah, when we get a patient, so there will be triage like category 1, category 2, and then providing medical assistance as of the need. So in pre-hospital setup again, these calls has to be triaged. Because if these are different, someone having an ankle pain can wait hours or if not days. But someone you think having crushing chest pain with multiple medical pathologies, then you're thinking of heart attack. So they can't wait. So that patient has to get to the hospital as early as possible. If it is a stroke, that patient needs to go to hospital as early as possible. If it is a major trauma, this patient needs to go to a hospital as soon as possible. So there should be a way, I think there's discussion and there's a plan to triage these calls and then see who would need the priority. However, having said that, if you're going to do that, then you would need the medical background of these accepting the caller, the triaging operators. They need to have medical background. So in Australia, what happened? Usually it could be either nurses or someone who has a medical background who accept the calls from the public. Number 2 is the pre-notification system. So assume you have a stroke, and we suspect a stroke at field. But if you can notify the hospital, receiving hospital early, they will be ready. So I think again, the development and now the trial is happening in National Hospital to notify before patient comes to the hospital. That's again make significant change, because if you are ready with everything, the intervention getting to the patient, the medical assistance would be much faster, and that would again make patient better outcome if you can do it. And then the other thing, what other things we can do at sea, right? So the critical interventions like trauma needing attention, like if you can relieve the tension and see, that would be really. And then STEMI and stroke, the things we can do in developed country, they will thrombolize if there's no delay in getting the PCIs in. If it is stroke, they will notify the stroke center that they will be moving the patient immediately. Another thing, again, the disaster response. The pre-hospital service in Sri Lanka has a well laid down protocol, but again, there's a problem with the public because about the unawareness of these protocols. So what they want to get as much as possible into ambulance and then get everything, every patient, whether it's a dead body or whether it's a less badly injured, to hospital immediately. And then lastly, upgrading the emergency medical service, the EMT training. So what we have is EMT. Now we developed diploma. But we need to think upgrading to a more skilled set of group of people like paramedics, and then how to combine this with the medical staff to make it regular medicine. The HEMS, the helicopter emergency medical service, would be thing we would consider in the long run, but I think this would be the way we should go. Right, so in summary, the pre-hospital setup in time-critical pathologies, especially trauma, is really important to improve outcome of these patients. Establishment of 1990, the suicide rate, has definitely changed the whole spectrum of things in Sri Lankan hospital system. Integrating the 1990 with other professional bodies, which is happening now, is really important for a better pre-hospital service development in the future. Right, so I will conclude my speech. Again, what I would like to highlight, pre-hospital service would change our relations and maybe one of us outcome. And so we need to respect, we need to acknowledge, and we need to get them treated as one of our team members. Thank you so much.